Which survival books are the best? A good survival book is something everyone needs on their shelf or in the bug-out bag. It comes particularly handy in the unfortunate moment of emergency or disaster arrives, and you need to know how to survive without the everyday luxuries. However, not all survival books are made the same, and not all of them will be effective in keeping you alive in an emergency. There are specific subjects that survival books must cover. They need to prepare for an emergency and teach how to hunt, cook, and treat wounds. Otherwise, your chances of survival will significantly diminish. You will be left without food, water, and shelter, which you absolutely need to survive. Survival books can truly be the difference between life and death. In this video, I review some of the best survival books you must get in order to enrich your knowledge and be prepared for any type of situation that may occur. See the links to these books in the description section below this video. With that said, I highly recommend that you visit our site and read the full article, where I explain how to select the right book, what topics it should contain and cover, and review all 15 of the best survival books to read. Enjoy the video. When Crisis Hits Suburbia, a modern-day prepping guide to effectively bug in and protect your family home in a societal collapse by Ted Riley. The recent pandemic and social unrest have emphasized just how unstable the outside world can be. In Ted Riley's When Crisis Hits Suburbia, you will find precise instructions on how to transform your house into a safe place. Your own house can become the shelter, where you can find protection from whatever disaster is wreaking havoc on the streets. This survival book takes into consideration your entire family and guides what exact actions need to be taken. Ted explains everything you need to know about survival priorities, about keeping your water and food safe, about calmly preparing your children for any future emergencies, and so on. There are checklists, task lists, item lists, and everything else necessary to become effectively organized when facing disasters, incidents, and even terrorist attacks. There is one additional bit of knowledge that convinced me to recommend this book to others. Even though Ted Riley helps you turn your house into a secure shelter, he also delivers clear instructions when to evacuate. This is a very important survival aspect to know, when it's time to leave the cozy shelter before it becomes dangerously unsafe. And this is another reason why I wholeheartedly suggest you keep this book in your house. Tiny Survival Guide, a life insurance policy in your pocket, the ultimate survive anything everyday carry, emergency, disaster preparedness micro guide. I wanted to specifically recommend this tiny survival guide, because you can carry it with you without adding any weight to your backpack. It's an Amazon's choice item with literally thousands of positive reviews. This survival guide is so small that it can be stored anywhere, your pocket, the car's glove box, purse, wallet, etc. Despite its size, it carries tons of life-saving knowledge on such topics as survival tactics, self-defense, gear, first aid, the absolute necessities, shelter, fire, and water, hunting and trapping, survival skills and mindset. It also prepares you for what should be done in various extreme situations, such as civil unrest, natural and man-made disasters, hostage and terror threats, car accidents, camping emergencies, and so forth. While not technically a book, the guide summarizes the knowledge contained in any other survival book. Its material is tear-resistant and weather-resistant, which means it's tough enough to survive any situation and help you survive it, too. Total Survival, how to organize your life, home, vehicle, and family for natural disasters, civil unrest, financial meltdowns, medical epidemics, and political upheaval by James C. Jones. James C. Jones brings his 5 decades of survival and self-reliance experience to create this quite useful and informative book. Total Survival is an all-in-one survival guide that covers all those important survival topics I mentioned earlier. There are 13 chapters, and each of them focuses on one specific survival situation or skill. For instance, there are chapters that deal with terrorist attacks, street crime, home invasion, and other disasters and dangerous situations. You will learn how to maintain fire, forage, trap food, purify contaminated water, treat wounds and heart attacks, plus several other life-saving skills. The book especially stands out when it lists the 10 items that should always be on you, such as a whistle and a small flashlight, as well as 10 items to include in your survival backpack. The first list is particularly interesting and helpful, but I won't spoil it for you. You'll just have to read this highly recommended book. When the Grid Goes Down: Disaster Preparations and Survival Gear for Making Your Home Self-Reliant by Tony Nestor. Tony Nestor is another veteran survivalist. His highly reviewed book focuses on one central aspect of surviving: facing an urban crisis. When the power is out and the streets are unsafe, it is up to you to defend your home, your family, and yourself. The book When the Grid Goes Down explains how you can be prepared for the worst possible scenarios. For instance, if the tap water is no longer available, you can find alternative water sources inside your house, as well as use the water you stockpiled ahead. The book even teaches how to create a water map of your vicinity, and then purify the located water. Another example is how you deal with the lack of electricity. The book clearly explains how you can cook food, control the inside temperature, warming or cooling the air, and light up the house when the city's power lines stop supplying electricity. Additional topics include making a medical kit, guarding and defending your house, stockpiling food, and much more. Prepper's Long-Term Survival Guide: Food, Shelter, Security, Off-the-Grid Power and More Life-Saving Strategies for Self-Sufficient Living by Jim Cobb. While there are many survival guides, this one earned its spot on my list by focusing on long-term survival. You might be prepared to withstand a disastrous event that lasts for a few hours or days, but have you considered what it takes to live through a much longer emergency? Jim Cobb is a well-known prepper and disaster consultant. In his book he delivers an incredible amount of knowledge that helps efficiently dealing with extensive social disruptions. I'm talking about disasters, in which a 72 hours bug-out bag will not suffice. While hurricanes come and go, pandemics and total grid failures are challenges on a much grander scale. So, what must be done when things don't return to normal for months and even years? The book teaches medical treatments when no doctor is expected to arrive, home defense and fortification when the social hierarchy collapses, filtering and storing water from various unexpected sources, growing and storing your own food, as well as foraging, hunting and fishing, building a new community to overcome the chaos. Survive Anything: The Ultimate Prepping and Survival Guide to Perfect Your Survival Skills and Survive Any Disaster, Anywhere in the World. By Bo Griffin. I'm including Bo Griffin's guide on my list of recommendations because it's succinct and to the point. In my opinion, short and precise guidance should be a priority, especially when it comes to survival books. This one is only 49 pages long, the shortest entry on the list. It's also available in an audio format, so you can listen to Survive Anything on the go. The guide covers both the familiar ground, as well as new perspectives on survival situations. For example, it teaches how you can figure out the best strategy with the optimal outcome, meaning the one correct strategy that will take you from emergency and back to safety. Naturally, it also teaches every basic and necessary survival skill: making shelter, finding food, finding water, maintaining the right mindset, etc. 57 Scientifically Proven Survival Foods to Stockpile: How to Maximize Your Health with Everyday Shelf-Stable Grocery Store Foods, Bulk Foods, and Superfoods by Damian Brindle. This unique survival book from Damian Brindle focuses solely on the survival food. I mentioned earlier that once disaster strikes, your regular food from the store will become unavailable. The book lists what shelf-stable good you must stockpile ahead of any emergency. This is not just a grocery list of obvious items. Damian did a thorough job finding the food sources that ensure you have a healthy and nutritious diet. He found the items rich in minerals, vitamins, fibers, calories, and so on. Additionally, he lists superfoods that strengthen your immune system and improve digestion, which greatly helps when you're facing a survival situation. All in all, the book is well written and contains a lot of valuable information. If you stockpile on these foods, you can overcome any unexpected food shortages without compromising on your health and diet. The Bushcraft Field Guide to Trapping, Gathering, and Cooking in the Wild by Dave Canterbury. Dave Canterbury is an outdoors expert, famous for his best-selling Bushcraft series. I selected this field guide for the list of recommended books, since it explains so well every single aspect of food for survival. While the book is mostly oriented for trekkers and outdoors adventurers, its knowledge is also significant for us survivalists. If you're stranded in the woods, and no help is expected soon. You will need food to sustain you. Hunting and gathering will surely save you from starving to death. The Bushcraft Field Guide to Trapping, Gathering, and Cooking in the Wild is well illustrated and full of instructions on how to hunt, how to fish, how to trap, which berries and plants you can gather for food, and which ones you should avoid, how you can cook in the wild, how you can pack food for later use. The book even comes with recipes for delicious yet easy-to-make meals. I especially love the detailed and illustrated instructions for an earth oven, which greatly helps to cook those meals. Surviving in the wild does not mean you have to suffer with an empty stomach. Take this guide with you whenever you head outdoors. It's guaranteed to keep you energized and fed. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe to our channel for more videos about off-grid, camping, survival and other interesting topics. For the full article, and more information about off-grid living, survival, camping, and much more, please visit our site and enjoy our articles on these and other topics. Have an amazing day.